Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture. In the previous lectures, we have already studied about the particle size distribution, especially about the sieve analysis, how to do the sieve analysis, how to process the data that you have observed and plot a graph that is known as particle size distribution curve. And yes, we have also studied about the various type of soil that we can actually identify on the basis of particle size distribution curve. And the curve that we actually plotted was between percentage finer and the sieve size. So on the x-axis we used to plot a sieve size, and on the y-axis we used to plot percentage finers. And let us suppose that this is the graph that you have observed, and on the basis of this graph you actually plot the values corresponding to 60% finer as D60, and for the 30% finer as the D30, and for 10% finer the value as equals to be D10. And we have also studied that the values of these three, always D60 is more than D30 and it is more than D10. Yes, all these three can be equal, and equal only if the soil is a uniformly graded soil. Now see, always it is not preferable that we will get such particular graph, or we should actually look at the graph also. So to understand that how much the soil is well graded or poorly graded, we actually defined two different coefficients. The first coefficient that we defined is nothing but that is the coefficient of uniformity. Why it is said the coefficient of uniformity, that you are going to understand, but yes, this is actually indicated by term that is Cu, and Cu is nothing but that is equals to be D60 upon D10. What is D60? That you already know. What is D10? That you already know. But as you know that D60 and D10 varies a lot for well graded soil, that you already know, because actually D60 and D10 will be equal if the particles are of equal size, yes or no. But if D60 and D10 are varying, that means the range of particle size is more. So as you can here say that Cu is more, then the range of solids size will be more. Range of solids size is more, yes or no. And if the range of solids is more, that means you can here say that the soil is well graded. So here we can understand that more is Cu, more well graded the soil will be. Now see here, if the Cu value is more than or equals to be 6, then the sand is said to be well graded sand. Whereas if Cu is lesser than 6 for a sand, then the sand is named as poorly graded sand. Whereas if I am talking about the gravels, then if the value of Cu is more than or equals to be 4, then the gravel is said to be well graded gravel. Then the gravel is said to be well graded gravel. And similarly, if Cu is lesser than 4, then it is said to be poorly graded gravel. Now yes, there is one point that you should actually observe here, that for sand you have mentioned that the Cu should be more than 6, but for gravel you mentioned that the Cu can be even if more than 4, then you will call the gravel as well graded. Why such partiality is actually done with the sand, that to call the sand as well graded, you said that okay, sand, if you want to be called as well graded, you should bring Cu more than 6. Why such partiality is done? Actually the reason is, see, if I tell you that what is the range of the size of solids if it is in between the size of sand, so that is between 4.75 mm and 0.075 mm. Actually, if you simply calculate this, what you can see that this is nothing but this is the maximum size of the sand and this is the smallest size of sand. Why I wrote big maximum size on the numerator? Because here you see D60 is actually the bigger size. So what is the maximum value of a Cu that is possible for the sand? That will be calculated only if I put maximum value of the size here and the minimum value of size here. So this is actually nothing but this is the maximum Cu for the sand, yes or no? And if you simply calculate that, it will be equals to be 475 divided by 7.5 and that will be around 63 or 64. Whereas if you calculate the value that is maximum for the gravel, then the maximum size of the gravel is 80 mm, whereas the minimum size of the gravel is 4.75 mm, and hence this is the maximum value of Cu that is possible for the gravel, and that will be around 17 or 18. So what is the maximum value indicating that the possibility or the capacity of the sand to have more Cu is more? Because the maximum possible value of Cu for the sand is 64, and that is why expectation from sand is kept more as compared to the gravel. So I hope now you understand that why we keep this range for the sand whereas this range for the gravel, and why it is said to be coefficient of uniformity, because it tells us the range of the solids. And yes, if Cu is equals to be 1 or it is approximately between 1 to 1.2, we call that all the solids are of similar size, and such particular soil will be known as a uniformly graded soil. So now you understand that why it is known as a coefficient of uniformity, that because it is actually telling us that how much uniform our soil is. So if more is the value of Cu, the solid range is more, but if the value of Cu is less, then it is indicating that the soil is having only a smaller size range of the solids. Now let us move ahead to the next coefficient, and here the next coefficient is nothing but that is your Cc. So what is the next coefficient? That is known as coefficient of curvature. Coefficient of curvature, and yes, it is actually denoted by Cc. So what is Cc? Cc is actually defined as the D30 square divided by D60 into D10. And yes, it can be, if you want to understand this, it can be actually written down as the product of two ratios. The first ratio is D60 upon D30 and the second ratio is D30 upon D10. Now please understand, as you already know, that the value of D60 will always be more than the D30 and D10 will be the smallest. So hence this ratio will always be lesser than 1, whereas this ratio will be always more than 1. Fine. So what I can say that, let us suppose if all the solids are of equal size, then this Cc will become equal to 1. But yes, also understand that this is actually indicating the rate of change of the percentage finer. By see, let us suppose if I plot a graph for the uniformly graded soil. See what I am seeing, that D60 is present here, D30 is present here, D10 is actually present here. So all these are equal. But if I am plotting the graph of a particular well graded soil, what you can see here, that this D60 will come here and D30 will come here and D10 will come here. And yes, here you can see that the slope is actually almost constant if this range or if this difference is almost equal and equal, yes or no. So what you can see here, if this is lesser than 1 by whatever amount it is smaller than 1, this should be by the same amount more than 1. Yes or no? So what I can say, that if the slope of the graph is almost constant, then this CC range, then this CC value will be almost around 1. Yes or no? So that is why if we can say that if CC is between 3 and 1, what I can say, that the slope is almost constant. Yes or no? Slope is almost constant for the graph. And if the slope is almost constant, that means what I can say that particles in all range are present. There is no range of the graph where the graph became horizontal, like as we saw in the gap graded soil. And that is why if all range of solids are present, such particular soil is known as well graded soil. Such particular soil is known as well graded soil. But let us suppose if the value of CC is lesser than 1 and the value of CC is more than 3. What this means? It means that slope is changing abruptly. And such a particular soil in which some particular range of solids are not present, that is not termed as the well graded soil, and that is why it is termed as a poorly graded soil. So here we have actually got two different coefficients to check whether the soil is well graded or poorly graded, and these coefficients are actually defined so that we can understand the particle size distribution of a particular soil even without looking at its graph. We can now judge any particular soil just by looking at the values of CC and Cu. So that is the purpose of these two coefficients. And yes, as the CC tells us about the slope of the graph, that is why it is known as coefficient of curvature. I hope now you understand that why this name is actually given for the CC. So that's all for this particular lecture. These are the two different formulas that you should remember here, even for the upcoming chapters. Now I am ending this lecture here only, and we will meet again in our upcoming lectures. Till then, keep learning, keep growing.